Hello. I think we're live. All right. Let me get back to boss entrance. All right. So Borderlands farming. Very simple, really. I'll go through the build real quick. So this is a Golden God focused Rafa build. I'll probably put up a build guide for this at some point, but this won't be it. Basically, you're looking for good Golden Gods. The exciting part about this gun is that basically it shoots forever, doesn't overheat all the way. And as you keep shooting, it does more damage up to a cap of 300% bonus damage, which is not fully multiplicative with everything, but is with most things. So we have that. And then we have auto crit from duct tape. So we are always critting while we're overheating. This isn't the best roll, but it's got gun damage and gun fire rate. Gun damage is additive with that 300%. So enhancement gun damage is not as good as it normally would be. We're actually more looking for fire rate than we are gun damage. So ideal would probably be shotgun fire rate here. Possibly a legendary with smelter as well. Running watts for dinner just because it's good. I just got a siphon recently from Origo, so we're going to keep farming him for better watts. But and then Dancer is the best class mod for most Rafa builds. Definitely for this one, looking for 1 point Soltado, 5 in Temerario. I like action skill duration just because it helps you keep it up with Huerga. And then Rep Kit is whatever you feel like. I'm just using a speed one for now. But generally, I would recommend something like a triple bypass, or you can use this Enraged Splash that I have if you need more damage. But I don't particularly, and using a rep kit while fighting is awkward because you'll lose your Golden God stacks. Skill build here. We are a mix of blue and red trees. I'll go through red tree first. So Deft Hands just for fire rate. Fire rate is our sort of lowest scaled additive stack. So we want more fire rate than we do anything else. Basically, an equal amount of fire rate is far better than gun damage from CTR. So even though this is only 4 fire rate and this is 5 gun damage, we want the fire rate. Huerga to keep action skill up, and then El Valiente just as a good source of all damage. It's, you know, we have a ton of damage in the on-hit category, so it doesn't make a huge difference, but it's still good. And we don't really get a benefit from anything else at the top of red. Then we get 5 points in Barrage, because overdrive skills with Dancer are very good. And Golden God counts as splash damage, even though it has a very small splash radius, so it does get the benefit from this. Then 4 points in Temerario, just for more damage. If you don't love the handling decrease from this, you could do something else. But the damage this is basically our most significant damage skill. So we got a 4 points, 9 total with the class mod, and then we get the free one in Soltado, so we don't have to go all the way down red tree. In blue tree, Las Yaras is really what makes the build work. The ammo regen sort of counteracts the Golden God shooting forever issue. You can't use one of the don't consume ammos because then the Golden God will stop overheating. So you do need to actually be regenerating enough ammo to keep shooting it. Between Las Yaras and we're using Peacebreakers with Bullet Buddy Deluxe, we have plenty of ammo regen to support even more fire rate than we have. So it's basically we can keep up Golden God forever. As long as we have 1 bullet, we can keep firing, even though the ammo shot cost increases as you keep shooting it. We have El Centro to counteract the handling down from Temerario, and also nothing else at the top here is particularly useful. Metal Management just will turn off our overdrive, which we don't want. First Impression we can't get because we're always at empty ammo. And then none of the rest of this we're not reloading. So, and we don't really use our ordinances. Then we go into Jacques. Jacques is huge because it's multiplicative with Dancer. So with fully stacked Jock plus Dancer, we get basically 3x to all of our overdrive bonuses. And if Sultato is active, that goes up to 5x. And Jock just stacks off of our priest breakers. So it's pretty fast. Even when bossing, you'll get to 20 stacks relatively quickly. And then Deadline, because even though we don't care about the reload speed, this is our best source of fire rate. So this is 45% fire rate at a base, and then 75 when Sultato's active. And that is the thing we're lowest on. We need the most. So basically, we have a pretty even spread of damage buffs. We can hit about 1 million DPS with this build. And then specializations. I like Riddle You This for gun damage, In the Zone for gun and crit hit damage. This crit hit damage does work with auto crits from duct tape, so we don't have to worry about that. And it's actually double effectiveness, so that's basically 50% crit damage. And then now with Caffeine to keep action skill up. And then I like Bullet Train just to be able to sort of be moving while prepping, charging our Golden God. And it's a little bit extra damage. Other options include you could run like Contamination if you are using a status or an elemental Golden God. You could use something from Over in Survivor, but I don't have enough points to get in there. I'm a Gun Hone Mine don't really help this build because we don't have Vitriol active, so we're not counting as skill damage for guns, but that is a useful tech on Rafa in general. Yeah, that's basically the story of the build. And then we're just going to sit here farming. So basically this farm, you just want to start shooting so that you get up to 30 shots fired, which is the max cap before the boss spawns. And you want to stack Temerario as well. You don't have to be fully zoomed to keep in the zone up. I actually let it drop there. But you have about a second of leeway before you have to zoom again. So I will kind of toggle zooming and not zooming just to get a little bit more damage for Bullet Train. And we basically just rinse repeat this, so probably not the most thrilling thing to watch. I guess I'll just check and make sure things are working. Seems like. Audio does sound a little bit better than yesterday. And I did get the splitting right, so I can listen to music without it going to the stream, which is nice. But yeah, basically just gonna be chilling. Farming this boss over and over again. Probably not the most thrilling content to watch, but... Oh, did I just not spawn him? Oops. Oh. Just pick up all the stuff. We're looking for a few things. Phosphine Kaoson, obviously, is one of them. But we're also... I have a 4% non-elemental, and I have a 4% fire. I don't have 4% in other elements. And then I'm looking for better watts for dinners. I only have 1 amp part, and I have 1 with 2 siphons. I don't have any siphon amps, and I don't have any multiple amps. So I'd like some of those. And then we're also looking for a good buster, potentially with 5 points into the last, or per my last. What's that skill called? Yeah, per my last. And then 1 in awe. Haven't found that yet either. Oh, good. Mic is better. Nice. Yeah, I installed a couple of plugins in Elgato. And I can try some repositioning. I'm not actually sure what the best way to do it is, but I mean, if you're working, well, I can figure that out later. I'm probably also mumbling because I feel like I'm talking to nobody, where I should be talking like I'm actually talking to somebody. Yeah, basically just, so my inventory method, of course, they managed to break the trait and mark filter. So my old strategy was just pick up everything up as junk and sort by rarity. That doesn't work anymore. So I just sort by recent, because the things I pick up, I still pick them up as junk, but they'll show up at the top of the list. And then I just filter down to epic legendary, because they're the only things I need to look at before I sell them. And none of this so far is particularly exciting. I really wish we had more bank space in this game, because I keep running out. Yeah, so this buster is not what we're looking for. In fact, it has neither of the skills we want. This Watts does not have amp or siphon. And I don't actually know what a good shatter white is, but that might be good. I think that's berserk. And I don't actually know what that blue skill is. I have not played very much of the non-Rafa characters. I have like one decent build on each of them, level 50, but okay, I actually remember to spawn him this time. This is basically the loop. We do this until we get the things we want. Oh shoot, I missed the slide tech there. Yeah, it's about a 30-second loop, I think. Or no, a little more with this build. I could switch back to the cheese build if I wanted to farm faster, but it's annoyingly inconsistent. And also, like, I don't know how fun it is to one-shot a boss anyway. All right, sounds good. Yeah, I kind of got the speed boost there. If you hit that little lip with a slide at the correct angle, you will fly really fast towards the exit, which is nice. And I don't bother opening the red chests because they're just not that likely to have anything good, and I'd rather get more rolls at the legendary dedicated drops. I should wait on the speed. I also should find a speed rep kit with more duration. My mic is slightly in the way of my face. We'll see if that helps. I just don't actually know like the correct setup. I'm not very good at audio stuff, so. All right, let's stop and pick up things. There are a lot of missing quality of life features in this game, like being able to pick up only rarities you care about, like auto pickup so you don't have to pixel hunt. Lead filters, that sort of thing, but game is still fun. really don't understand how people like stream this game, the many viewers, and find a way to fill the air. Streaming Magic is like much more engaging. I am literally just killing the same boss over and over. Oh, backpack full, right? I didn't actually sell the last time I picked stuff up. I also wish you could just keep action skill active through those portals. That'd be so much faster. Okay. Anything good? I am glad they made the filters last. Like persist. Shotgun damage. Oh, nice. Melee crit chance, not really what we're looking for, but at least it's the right skills. All right, I might switch to that build in a little bit, just because it's funny. Although it is frustrating when you miss. Okay, we hit another amp. Amp Reflect is not terrible. It's only a 50 amp, but keep it for now. Unfortunately, amp is not actually that good on Rafa because you don't have any shields generation. I think an amp Guardian Angel would be good. Maybe with some of Rafa's shield regen stuff, but something fast firing like this, an amp shield is not particularly valuable. Might try to put some sort of amp stellium situation together at some point. Or hot slugger. Or sniper. Something slower firing. Amp is also additive with first impression, so it's a little bit less value on single shot Rafa builds. But it's still good. Going from 52% to 100 or 200%. There, I got it that time. Bad Kaoson. Another bad one. You're looking for small mags. Caught up. All right. Welcome back. I have gotten one decent drop so far. Let me know if you want to see a stupid melee one-shot build instead of shoot a bunch of times build. That build is abusing what is almost certainly an exploit that will get patched at some point. Without it, it's unfortunately like mediocre. It's fine, but it's not as strong as this. Although, possibly when the exploit is fixed, it'll be reasonable. Because the weaker build just doesn't use the thing that causes the exploit. So if it gets fixed in a way that it's still powerful but not exponentially scaling recursively, It might be a good build. Oh, oops, I have died. That's fine. If slightly embarrassing. Actually dodging things this time. Although I'm kind of missing a lot. Yeah, let's go switch to the melee build for a little bit. I want to try out the new class mod I just got. It's probably still worse than a dancer, but recent. This is the buster. Okay. Yeah, let's try it out. I should do a quick look through the things I just got first. Bad, bad, bad. Is TR any good? Oh, Shocknet SMG. I think is actually good. It's a Ripper, though. We don't want Ripper TDRs. Oh, this is also good. Not for the melee build, because we don't care about fire rate, but, well, unlikely I'll play a buster build that cares about fire rate. But it could happen. Okay, so let's see this build. For max damage, no, I don't actually need more than one dial in. I think it's this is the setup. And then blue, we have to waste all of our points because you need to get down to Jacques Mate and per my last, but literally nothing in the top section of blue is useful for this build. It's all gun stuff or grenade stuff, and we are just punching. But you need 15 points in the air in order to get down there, and this stuff is all critical. So the interaction is relevant. There's two things. One is per my last is bugged. It doesn't actually say it here, but it counts as an overdrive skill. So this 30% gets the 50% overdrive buff from Jacques, even though it shouldn't. So that takes it to 45. And then if I put on that class mod, I get +5 to it. So that gives me 60 base, which will go to 90 with Jacques stacked. So that is a little silly because it means 90% of the time when I hit with action skill damage, I'll just double that damage. And that's a straight double. It's not additive with anything. It just does the instance of damage again. But it's even better than that because I believe it double dips some modifiers. I haven't messed around enough to figure out exactly which ones. I'll have to do that science at some point. But what you can do is with Altered Cabron, which causes all of your damage to do bonus corrosive damage. If you get to high enough stacks on this, you're doing an extra chunk of corrosive damage. That corrosive damage counts as action skill damage, which means it has a chance to get doubled from per my last or re-instanced hit again. That per my last damage can trigger Altered Cabron, because Altered Cabron is a bonus element on all of your damage sources. Then that bonus element can re-trigger per my last. So as long as you have enough damage modifiers and a high enough Altered Cabron percentage, you get not infinite because it's only a 90% chance, but a very high chance of a exponentially scaling feedback loop. So I can show you that in action in just a second. There are a couple of things that are relevant. In order to stack Altered Cabron, you need to gain health 10 times to get to 10 stacks, although I think you have enough damage in the 6 to 7 to 8 range. So you don't need all 10, but not everything counts as gaining health. The health restore from Altered Cabron itself does. The health restoration from Saldar does on melee crits. And credit to, I forget who exactly in one of the discords I'm in, found that the support drone alt fire on TDRs also works. So that seems to be the easiest way to get a lot of stacks. But in a pinch, when you don't have that up, I'm trying out using Awe. Whenever I shock an enemy, everything's a crit with Saldar to make all my crits restore health. And then with a Watts for dinner, that will allow me to do shock damage, which then can trigger Awe. Now, what else do I want to put these last 4 points in? Probably Collaborate Ignition. Possibly Conductivo. Just for higher chance of proccing Awe. Let's just see how this does without spending those points on the test dummies. Is there anything else I need to swap out? Yes, I want that for Action Fist, that for Action Fist. And sure, what the heck. Firmware I'll worry about later. It's not that important here because we're doing stupid scaling nonsense. Oh, and specializations. Most of these are not useful. We need not bullet train, not in the zone, not riddle you this, but we want I'm a gun, honed mind, and bear arms. Because arc knives counts as both melee damage and action skill damage, although I'm a gun actually works on all skill damage. This converts all of our gun damage at 100% ratio to be applied to arc knives, which with diamond hands at full stacks is 200% gun damage. So that's a big source of scaling for us. All right, so let's see how this does. So you'll see early on we have a bunch of ones, but now it's going to start scaling to really big numbers. We got things in the billions, we got things in the many, many, many billions, and then eventually the numbers will just go away because they get too high. So we're still doing integer overflow amounts of damage here. Like you can see it's instantly dying if we toggle its health bar because we have an integer overflow amount of dot on it. So that's this build. Presumably they're going to patch that at some point. I guess I'll put 2 more points in expedite because move speed. And then blowout sounds fun. I don't actually know how it works. I never used it before. And we'll grab collaborate just to have an extra bonus element. I think that makes the most sense. Let's try that again with blowout active. I don't actually see it doing anything. But yeah, infinite damage. They keep managing to have these in the game. And so yeah, this will make the farm slightly faster, but it's a little bit finicky because A, you actually need to get a chain proccing, which usually means getting a dot on, which would be a reason to use Conductivo, just to increase dot chance. That's probably best, actually. But also because Origo flies a lot, sometimes you just like miss him, and that's annoying. When I was relying on fully on combat drone, it was even more annoying because if I didn't get, or not combat drone, healing drone, if I didn't get the kill before the healing drone wore out, I just had to wait 30 seconds for it to be up again. That was annoying. But with this new class mod, we should be able to get heal procs off of Saldar, even if the drone goes down. So should be a little bit easy to recover from a mistake. Let's see. So the rotation for this one is hop in, pop support drone, pop our action skill, and you see the support drone ticks up. That green buff in the bottom left is the one we care about, and then we do that, and that's the fight. And I guess we'll go back to the speed rep kit because why not? The other nice thing about this, as opposed to the dancer version, is we stay in overdrive after our action skill goes down, which means we maintain our movement speed even after we go through the portal and drop the action skill. See, this is what happens sometimes. It's really annoying. But we still got the kill. So this should be the fastest farm available to me at the moment, at least on Rafa. Because we still have a bunch of move speed now for this run back part. Although we are limited a little bit by the healing drone cooldown, I think. So if I had a second support drone, that would make this a little bit better. But yeah, pretty ridiculous that this is allowed in the game. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. I should go look up the name of the guy who found this to give them proper credit. But we were messing around with it together a little bit a few days ago. Oh, geez, I got to turn off streamer mode somehow in Discord because it's not showing their name. Hold on. How do I turn off streamer mode? There used to be a button up at the top. Just try restarting Discord, I guess. It did not work. Settings somewhere? So streamer mode enabled. Okay. Yeah. Okay, their name in Discord is Keeping It Grimy, which is an excellent name, of course. But yeah, they found this after the last patch because so there's a thing called Groundbreaker, which is a specialization, which used to do basically this on a lot of builds, where basically any melee damage that you did would trigger basically a percentage of any non-melee damage you'd done in the last 5 seconds, except you could get things basically accompanying your melee damage that counted as non-melee damage based on your melee damage, and that would then get stored and feed back into your melee damage. And they changed it so this only works on like specifically melee attacks, so it doesn't work with the arc knives anymore, which is a good change. But that was one of these sort of exponential scaling things that existed before the last patch. Now that it's gone, Keeping It Grimy found this new one. I think mostly by accident, and wasn't sure exactly what was causing it, and we were able to work it out as a group. Joe Furlong also did a bunch of testing. Oh shoot, I forgot to use too much yapping. I forgot to use my support drone, so this one will take a little bit longer. Oh, I didn't even spawn the boss. Okay. Well, opportunity to pick up all the stuff. The other nice thing about this patch is they fixed the using vending machines to reset your action skill. Oh, shock Kaoson, but a bad one? Yeah, I'll fish for a better one. Got a week. None of this any good. All right. Nice. One shot. You don't always get the one shot because of the 90% chance involved, but sweet when you do. Yeah, it's a little faster than the other one. Just slightly. Almost fast enough that my cooldowns don't come off in time for the next round, but they barely do. Means it's like a 35-second or so farm. Although, actually, I don't know when the support drone cooldown starts. Does it start when you cast it, or does it start when it wears off? Probably starts when you cast it, in which case it's like almost exactly a 30-second loop. Oh, I forgot to pop my cooldown. All right, let's grab the stuff. Yeah, trying to pick things up in Arc Knives mode is miserable. Will any of this be any good? Probably not, but... I also don't know what to look for in a driver, but it doesn't seem like it's a very good class mod regardless. So I'm not going to bother holding them. Bad Watts for dinner. Kindred Spirits, I think, is also garbage. It's like for pet build, which I'm sure somebody will figure out how to make busted at some point, but it's not going to be me. Full status effect chance buster. Ordnance cooldown. See a world in which that's useful. Probably not, but... Yep. I think this is definitely better than the dancer version. Dancer version's like very similar, but having a little bit more reliability is nice. It's probably worse for mobbing, but... Kind of messed up the rotation there. Oops. Oh, yeah, just full dead. How much iridium do I have left? Oh, yeah, plenty. That's why we do vial bounties. Yeah, this is very silly. Borderlands 4, a game with absolutely no bugs. I miss. Oh, there we go. So much of the time of this farm is just running back and forth. Let's do some looting. Such a good streamer, just sitting here playing Borderlands. Supposed to like get excited that I might have gotten a good drop. Oh man, a legendary. Oh, specialization level. Nice. This is not a very good XP farm, but we'll take what we can get. Yeah, sometimes like that just takes a bit for the chain to get going. I wonder if more Conductivo would help. What do we got this time? Ripper King's Gambit? Burt's Bees. These are not dedicated drops. Yeah, it's all garbage. Sometimes he just doesn't want to cooperate. I need a speed accelerator rep kit for this. We just don't even need a speed at all. Just run the accelerator. Yeah, why not? That also helps me stack. This is the non-healing drone approach. Definitely slower. Healing drone is the best way of stacking Altered Cabron. Great pun, by the way. Yeah, it's comfier timing on the cooldown. Also stacks faster. Oh, jeez. Oops. Wait, one more than pick up stuff? Oh, didn't go through, huh? What do we got this time? Bad Kaoson. Another bad one. Ooh, kill drone. Medium kill drone. Should try the kill drone build at some point. Fulasiaras Lance. Not too impressive. Not a good stellium. Incredible. Should see if the right click insta kill is consistent. It's definitely easier to hit with. Does this work in the air? Oh, it does. That's a nice speed up. Oh, I didn't even know about this kind of attack drone. Move speed. Almost good. Only 4 in per my last, though. I forgot to reset cooldowns. Wait, why did it not work that time? That's so weird. Oh. And that's why we switched versions of the build, because the backup strats work. Maybe you just have to do it a little early. Where'd it go? It worked one time? Oh, jeez. Oops. Alright, maybe this strat is a little dicey. I want it to work, though. Be a couple seconds faster, I think. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, I don't think it actually makes a difference. Oh my god, why am I stuck? Yeah. This is it. This is the build. At least for this farm. are still not the things we're looking for. Torg flamethrower, fluty. Eh. Missed. Oops. Some might ask why I'm doing this. And rightly, I don't have a good answer. Because I can. Because I want best in slot items. Because I don't actually mind soothing repetitive tasks. I don't think I have it cut out for me to be a Borderlands streamer. Might have to stick to magic. I don't know, can I add some ASMR to your workday? What's the play here? Well, I had 2 viewers for a little bit there. That's exciting. I wonder who the second person was. Are you for meeting in 10 minutes? Yeah, I'll probably call it around then anyway. Yeah. If I do magic, it'll be later. But it's like getting close to figure out dinner time and all that stuff. Wait, is your chat from my Discord overlay showing up on the stream? That would be a good thing to know. It looks like no, which is good. Oh, but the noises are? Oh, no, that's now you. Okay. Yeah. Cool. This audio definitely is better today, though. I'm glad I made those changes. All right, I'll probably actually make a couple build guides then, now that I have functioning audio. I don't know if I want to make this Arc Knives build guide, because there's no way this is going to last past the next patch or two. But, yeah, people might get use out of it while it's around. Yeah, that's totally fair. I know like the streams that I most like to watch are Magic Drafts, so I'll probably do a decent amount of that, but I don't expect anybody to really watch me just mindlessly farming Borderlands. But if you're just chilling at work, I'm mediocre second or third monitor content, I'll take it. Nice. Love it when the one shots actually land. Oh, backpacks full. Okay. Tank AF1000, not really what I'm looking for. I think I already have one anyway. Bad Watts. And bad Kaosons. I feel like I got a bunch of good stuff at the beginning of the day. Seen basically nothing since. But that's fine. That's how it is sometimes. Oh, decent mixologist. Probably call the stream after a couple more runs. You gotta get to your meeting anyway, but makes mindlessly farming slightly more engaging. And get to do nonsense one-shots on Origo. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to get YouTube chat to work. Although honestly, like, just pinging me in Discord is fine. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. See you later. Enjoy your meeting. And thank you to whoever that one other person is who watched 5 minutes of this. Cool.